a 78-69 victory over Maryville. Well played, hard-fought game tonight. So congrats to Keene State. And Coach Cain, I'm just going to ask you to go ahead and start and make some introductory remarks about what you thought about today's game.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, think very highly of Maryville. Tremendously played game, just kept fighting. There were a couple times in the second half where the game could have opened up a bit, and it went the exact opposite way. And, really proud of our guys. When that adversity hit, I thought we came together, made simple plays. I did a poor job, I thought, of getting us into the right type of offense, based on what Maryville was doing. And fortunately, we got some pretty good players that made some plays. And then ultimately, these guys found a better way to get Jeff the appropriate touches in the paint, and just a real team effort to play with the intensity that we played with against a really good competitive team. Those guys have tough shot makers, so even if you're playing good defense, it doesn't really make too much of a difference when you have capable players like those guys do. The top end of that roster is probably as good as anybody. Those guards, and Charlie Cochran there in terms of transferring in, just really good shot makers and players. But proud of our effort. I think we did a decent job controlling those guys. It obviously helps when you have two guys step up that lead our team, the captains of our team, and play the way they did in big moments. They made big plays and big shots, but a real team effort. I thought our defense overall was pretty good. We just made a lot of mistakes that led to some easy opportunities, but a lot of that is the style that Maryville plays. So well-played game both ways. Credit to Maryville. Really enjoyed competing against those guys today.
And Jeff Hunter, I believe you had 18 points in the first half. You finished with 32 points, 18 rebounds, so that's a pretty solid double-double. And then you added 3 steals and 4 blocks on that. You want to talk a little bit about your teammates and your performance today, and what you were pretty happy about, and who else did well from your perspective that's on the Keene State team?
I think everybody on our team played phenomenal tonight. We played hard, and that's what we talk about, is going out and competing every single night. Fortunately, teammates got me the ball when they were supposed to, and I don't know, not much to say. It was a great team win, and I'm proud of how we played, and we're on to tomorrow, neutral.
All right, I'm going to turn the microphone over to others for questions.
Yeah, Carl Barkley from D3 Direct. Question for you, Coach. Felt like the theme of the whole game was just pace, and you knew what Maryville's style was coming in, and how do you feel you guys handled it? You won the turnover battle. You forced 23, you only give up 16. What are your takeaways?
Yeah, we definitely have a style that we like to play. The good thing about our team is I do think we can play some different styles, so ultimately we definitely want to play with a lot of pace. We want to be a team that scores a lot and plays the open floor as much as we can. But I thought tonight, with the way that Maryville was playing, there were some opportunities to slow the game down a little bit, control it in the half court. They went on some big runs as we did turn it over. In the first half, we only had 6 turnovers, but I felt like they scored off of all 6 of those turnovers. So in the first half, there were kind of untimely turnovers in situations where, we may have had a little bit of a lead and had some control of the game, but they made those plays defensively that led to some easy baskets. So second half, as the half went on and we started to run some different stuff, we took care of the ball a little bit better. We played a little bit slower, and we played through Jeff a little bit more. And obviously, I think we took care of the ball a little bit better during that stretch as well. Unfortunately, he was able to make some really good plays against a good team, and score in the interior, and then put some pressure on the defense that ultimately led to an Octavio 3 late in the game that got it back to double digits. So pace is definitely a key for us. We want to turn teams over. Probably turned it over too much ourselves for our liking, but again, that's probably their style and their intensity that they played with. So credit to those guys for being able to force us to that many turnovers.
And then a question for Jeff. As a senior, you've been in the program a while, and you've been able to, as John pointed out, establish quite an individual, impact. What is it like to now have a second man to work off of in Octavio, and you guys present quite the 1-2 punch. What is it like to be able to play with him?
It's amazing to play with him. I think that he's becoming a great leader on and off the court. The points, the stats, it is what it is right at the end of the day, but when you can become a leader and help other people become leaders, that's when you know you're doing something right. So I think it's very fortunate that I, as a man, helped him develop himself into a leader that he is, and I can see it in him as a young guy. Phenomenal basketball player, but he's bringing it to everybody else, and he makes me better as a person, player, you name it. He's a great guy.
I have a couple questions based on the stats, and we'll take a quick peek at tomorrow's contest as well. You won the battle of rebounds 40-33, and again, very impressive. So are your shooting percentages. You had 48% plus from the field for the game and 42 from 3 points. And that's probably one of the biggest standouts is you made 4 more three-pointers than your opponents did. You mentioned Octavio. He had half of those, but you had other people that stepped up as well. What makes your offense as powerful as it is?
Good players. We definitely have, 2 guys that I think are extremely capable scorers. Jeff is, great with the ball. He moves well without the ball. He's a terrific offensive rebounder. He runs well and plays in transition. And then Octavio is a real true 3-level scorer. With kind of an awkward game in the mid-range that, they look like bad shots, but whatever he does in that area seems to be effective for him. But then I think we have nice depth to our roster. I think Maryville did a nice job containing a lot of our role players, and with the switching on ball screens and stuff caused some problems for some of our smaller guards. But we have some pretty dynamic players. Guys with the ball as well as dynamic shooters. But Maryville's defense, I think, did a nice job containing those guys to some extent. But we just have enough depth where I think if you try to do too much with Jeff or too much with O, that we have some complementary pieces that are really difficult to guard in space, whether it's guys who can make shots or guys that can take it off the bounce and get to the rim, or a combination of both.
Last question. 5:30 tomorrow, you're going to be up against Marietta, one of the teams that made it to the Final Four in Division III this past year, a perennial powerhouse in the Ohio Athletic Conference. So we got a little Big East Ohio Athletic Conference showdown. What do the Keene State Owls have to do well to emerge with the W tomorrow?
Yeah, we're really excited for the opportunity to play Marietta. It's a team that I have a lot of guys in our program that just love basketball. They're basketball junkies. So these guys have probably watched Marietta play fairly often. Some of what we do is similar to what Marietta does. In terms of our flow offensively and the way that we play. It's a team that we watched in the Great Lakes Invitational in 2020. It was the group of guys that ultimately went to the Final Four last year. A lot of those pieces were on that team in 2020 when we participated in that event. We didn't play against those guys, but spent a lot of time watching those guys as part of that tournament. So just really, really excited for the opportunity to compete against a great team that has been as successful as they've been through the years. Obviously the recent run to the Final Four, but it just seems like year in, year out, those guys are at the top of the OAC. They're competing to make runs in the NCAA tournament every single year. We've had some decent runs over the years, but what we're trying to build is just that level of consistency that a program like Marietta has had over the years. So, nothing but respect for, Coach and what he's done over there, and, just terrific players. Obviously they lost a lot, but the amount of depth that program has, and the ability to just plug guys in and sustain the level that they play at is just extremely impressive. So, really excited for the opportunity to compete against them tomorrow. Should be a fantastic game, or at least we hope so. And we're excited for the challenge.
Okay. Jeff, you want to add anything you can, but you don't have to.
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Ready to get some food, no doubt. So.
No,
Hey, congrats again. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.